Hello everyone. Today's topic is news sources. What is a news source? In journalism, a source is a person, publication, or other records or documents that give timely information. Source is a reporter lifeblood. No information, no report. The source will provide the information and brief the reporter. Sources are divided into two types. First, primary sources, second, secondary sources. The journalist who understands and can use these sources quickly and effectively will unearth more and better stories than one who does not. If he cultivates his personal contact and use physical sources such as report, record and references intelligently, he will produce original, accurate and a true copy. Primary sources. First, contact. A journalist's personal contact are as important as the ability to turn a good phrase and hack jealous guard their best sources from being poached by others. Second, local call. All news organizations have a system of regular call. These are made hourly or daily to some sources, weekly to other, and are essential source of information. The most important regular calls are to the emergency services such as police, fire and hospitals. Third, tip off and leak. Every tip off and leak should be checked carefully as some will provide very useful indeed. Fourth, being observant. The journalist should get out of his office as much as he can because first-hand information is far better than second-hand. He should try and notice things around him and be aware of the mannerism and mood of the people he meets. His power of observation and willingness to grasp will yield additional details in his story. Fifth, politician. They can be among the best contact a journalist will have. If a journalist cultivates them carefully, they will give him stories and put him in touch with the people who can help him. Regional and local journalists should build a good relation with the local politician. Sixth, court. The court are very productive source of stories and the court reporting is very important part of journalist's job. Seventh, experts. Experts is a primary source of information for a journalist. A journalist can get any information about any field just by talking to an expert of that field. Eighth, news conferences. Organizations that want to promote a message or product will organize a news conference. The government on introducing a new policy will do the same. One must remember these are stage events that are not news in themselves. For the media, it is quite cheap and quick way of news gathering. Secondary sources. First, the wires. These are the news services provided by the news gathering agencies such as Press Association, Associated Press and the dozen of local news agencies. Many news organizations rely on the wires for international stories, coverage of court cases and tip-off on any good local stories. Second, press or news release. These are publicity handouts or story given to the media for publication. Dozens of them arrive in newsroom every day. Third, letter. Letter to the editorial often led to a good story. A letter complaining about local problems and environmental issue. But before using a letter as a basis of a news story, one should get permission from the writer. All the points in the newsletter should be checked carefully for accuracy and libel. Fourth, follow-up. Following up stories they have already covered to note development or lack of them is something journalists should do frequently. Fifth, internet. The internet has revolutionized how journalists research stories since it allowed them to find and check facts much more quickly. It has also put them in touch with the sources all over the world. Now, the 5 W's and 1 H. The news stories are written using 5 W and 1 H. This is probably the first and the most important and traditional principle of writing a news item. For any news reader, listener and viewer have 6 basic questions. And they can first paragraph of the news called the intro or lead should contain answer to these questions. This is the most cardinal principle of writing news followed all over the world. And these questions are who, what, when, where, why and how. Who? What group or the person is the story about? While mentioning the name of the person, great care should be taken. Make sure you get the name spelled right. Seek documentation and confirmation from other sources so you don't have to base your story on unnamed sources. What? What happened? What is the issue, problem, or conflicts? There may be some confusion about the similarity between what and how, but both are quite different. What tries to inform the action and activities of occurrence or event? How is the answer to the curiosity of the manner in which it has happened? When? Day, date, and time. While giving the time in the news story, the journalists have to keep in view the timing when the story is going to be read or listened or viewed by the receiver. For example, we should not write today if we are reporting for a morning newspaper, as the reader is going to read it tomorrow. Where? Be as specific as possible. In the simple story, where might be a basic mention of a city, venue, or address. Be sure to verify address and the spelling of venue, community, and other location. Why? Why does this happen? Often, why is the most important question to answer in your research. You need to pursue an explanation or try to understand a character motivation. Find the people or documents that can help you to understand cause and effect. Why is an important question to ask when a story is a critical one. You need to be fair to the people who are criticized in story and given them a chance to explain and respond to the criticism. How? How did it happen? Ask how to relevant points in interview. Find expert to explain confusion or complex process. As with why, you writing will need to provide some how explanation. In a narrative, how could be a resolution to the conflicts. So if the journalist provide answers to these 6 questions, he will automatically create a good and a newsworthy story. My name is Shivani KHACHI. Thank you for watching.